What's up out there, everybody? We're back with the first of the released indexes, starting out with the Tyranids here today. Looks like it's 94 pages, so this is going to be probably a fairly long video. But that being said, let's not waste any time and hop right into it. So right here at the top, they're going to start off giving us with the army rule. So Synapse, if your army faction is Tyranids, while a Tyranids unit from your army is within 6 inches of one or more Synapse models from your army, that unit is said to be within Synapse range of your army. Each time a Tyranid unit from your army takes a Battle Shock test, if it is within Synapse range of your army, take that test on 3d6 instead of 2d6. Alright, so if you're in Synapse range, you get 3d6 instead of 2d6 for Battle Shock. We saw this in the leak, so most people already knew this. But it's definitely a very helpful rule from the few little videos we've got to see of battle reports from the starter box. Battle Shock is going to be something rather significant in 10th edition. And then there are other army specials, Shadow in the Warp. If your army faction is Tyranids, once per battle in either player's command phase, if one or more units from your army with this ability are on the battlefield, you can unleash the Shadow in the Warp. When you do, each enemy unit on the battlefield must take a Battle Shock test. So once again, another rule playing into Battle Shock. Once per game, in either player's command phase, you pop this and make every unit in your opponent's army take a Battle Shock. From the few things I've seen, looks like you can wait till after they've taken all their regular Battle Shocks, pop this and force them to take Battle Shocks again. So possibly making units take 2 Battle Shocks in the same round. So until they FAQ that looks like that's the way that works, which is very strong. And then next up we got their detachment rule, hyper adaptations, which we've already seen. So at the start of the first battle round, they select one of the following hyper adaptations to be active for Tyranid units from your army until the end of the battle. Swarming Instincts. Each time a Tyranid model with this hyper adaptation makes an attack that targets an enemy infantry or swarm unit, that attack has sustained hits 1 ability. Each time a Tyranid, or hyper aggression is each time a Tyranid model with this hyper adaptation makes an attack that targets an enemy monster or vehicle unit, that attack has the lethal hits ability. And then you have Hive Predators. Each time a Tyranid model with this hyper adaptation makes an attack that targets an enemy character unit, if a critical hit is scored, that attack has the precision ability. So just infantry heavy, monster vehicle heavy, character heavy, just an option to help you deal with any of them. Then we, they're giving us the stratagems first. All right, so rapid regeneration is in your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. One Tyranid unit from your army that was selected as a target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, models in your unit have a feel no pain 6+ ability. If your unit is within Synapse range of your army, until the end of the phase, models in your unit have a feel no pain 5+ ability instead. Alright, so in the shooting or fight phase, you can give one of your units feel no pain. It's a 6-up or 5-up, depending whether or not they're in Synapse. Then we got Adrenal Surge. This one is 2 CP. It's in the fight phase. Up to 2 Tyranid units from your army that are within Synapse range of your army and are eligible to fight, or one other Tyranid unit from your army that is eligible to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in one of those selected units makes an attack, a successful unmodified hit roll of a 5+ scores a critical hit. Alright, so basically give 1 unit or 2 units if they're both in Synapse critical hits on 5s in the fight phase. Alright, then next up we got Death Frenzy. Fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. 1 Tyranid unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit is destroyed, if that model has not fought this phase, roll 1d6. On a 4+, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking model's units has finished making attacks and is then removed from play. Alright, so fight on death, but not automatic. You still have to roll a 4-up. Then Overrun. Fight phase just before a Tyranid unit from your army consolidates. Target that Tyranid's unit. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes a consolidation move, it can move up to 6 inches instead of up to 3 inches, provided your unit can end its consolidation move in unit coherency and within an engagement range of one or more enemy units. If your army is within synapse range of your army, if your unit is within synapse range of your army and not within engagement range of enemy units, instead of making that consolidation move, it can instead make a normal move of up to 6 inches. Alright, so this is very useful. So if they're not in if you're in synapse range and you're not in engagement, you can make a normal 6-inch move, which can go any direction. Excuse me, sorry about that. Which is very useful. So now if you kill something for 1 CP, now you can move toward an objective or something like that. You can't use the normal move to get within engagement range, but you can use the pile-in to consolidate to get. So yes, you can either go into an engagement range, toward an objective, back into cover, really whenever you want to do, as long as you're in synapse. If you're not in synapse, then you can only do it towards an enemy unit. It doesn't look like you can do it towards an objective like normal consolidate, because it doesn't have that here. It looks like you can only. So I wonder if that was intended or just an overlook. But so far, it's looking like most of the strats, other than the fight on death, have extra little things if you're in synapse range. Alright, and then we have the Tyranid. So these are invasion fleet stratagems. Alright, so there's just 6 of them. You're only getting 6. So then we have Synaptic Insight, which is in your command phase. Up to 2 Tyranid units from your army that are within synapse range of your army, or 1 other Tyranid unit from your army. Select 1 hyper adaptation until the end of the battle round. That hyper adaptation is active for those selected units in addition to any other that may be active for your army. You cannot select the same hyper adaptation you selected at the start of the first battle round. I don't know why you would select the same one you selected at the start of the first battle round if you already have it, but alright, you can't. I don't know why you would, but cool. So you basically can give one of your units a second hyper adaptation for a battle round. Alright, and then, or you can do it to 2 units, 1 if you're not in synapse. And then Endless Swarm, this is one a lot of us have already seen. Your command phase, up to 2 Endless Multitude units from your army that are within synapse range of your army, or 1 other Endless Multitude unit from your army. Up to D3 plus 3 destroyed models will return to each of these selected units. This has looked like it's very useful, probably going to be used a lot. Alright, so that's their stratagems. Then we have their enhancements. So this is, for those of you who don't know, replacing warlord traits and relics. They're gone. They're just kind of mixed into one thing now. It's just called enhancements. So the first one is Alien Cunning. Tyranids model only. After both players have deployed their army, select up to 3 Tyranid units from your army and redeploy them. When doing so, you can set those units up in strategic reserve if you wish, regardless of how many units are already in strategic reserves. Alright, so you put this on one of your characters, and you can redeploy up to 3 air units, possibly putting them into reserve if you want to, taking you past the restriction on number of units and points in reserve. Alright, then we got Perfectly Adapted. Tyranids model only. Once per turn, you can reroll 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll, 1 damage roll, 1 advance roll, 1 charge roll, or 1 saving throw made for the bearer. Alright, so basically give them a command reroll that they can use every turn. In every turn, so not battle round, so each player's turn. So that's not bad. Synaptic Linchpin. Tyranid model only. While a friendly Tyranid unit is within 9 inches of the bear, that unit is within synapse range of your army. Alright, so extra range on your synapse. Adaptive Biology. Tyranid model only. Bearer has the Feel No Pain 5+ ability at the start of any turn. If the bearer has fewer than its starting number of wounds remaining, until the end of the battle, it has the Feel No Pain 4+ ability instead. Alright, so 5 Feel No Pain. Once you take damage, then starting at the next turn, you get a 4 Feel No Pain. Alright, all fairly decent. I could see reasons for taking all of it. And do we have more enhancements, or is it just the 4? Alright, so it looks like just 4 enhancements, and then they're rolling right into the data sheets. We have the Winged Hive Tyrant here. 12-inch move, toughness 9, 2-up save, 10 wounds, leadership 7, objective control 3. It's the Heavy Venom Cannon, which is blast, 36-inch range, D3 shots, hits on 2, strength 9, neg 2, 3 damage. Then we have the Stranglethorn Cannon, which is also blast, 36-inch range, D6 plus 1 shot, hits on 2, strength 7, neg 1, 2 damage. Just off the first look, the Stranglethorn just getting so many more shots. Looks like the better one. Unless you're trying to have him hunt vehicles, then I guess the Strength 9 will be slightly better. But most really good vehicles, looks like are over Strength 9 or over Toughness 9, so they're both going to be wounding them on 5s. So then you have melee weapons. You have the Monstrous Bone Swords and Lash Whips, which is twin linked, so you'll be re-rolling your wound rolls. 6 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 9, neg 2, 3 damage. Then he has Monstrous Scything Talons, which has extra attacks, so you can swing this into addition to any other weapon you're swinging. It has 4 attacks, hits on 2, strength 7, neg 2, 2 damage. And then you have Tyrant Talons, which is 5 attacks, 2 up to hit, strength 7, neg 2, 2 damage. Alright, he has a Deadly Demise D3, Deep Strike, Shadows in the Warp, and Synapse. Then he has Will of the Hive Mind. Once per turn, one friendly Tyranids unit within 12 inches of one or more models with this ability can be targeted with a stratagem for 0 CP, even if another unit from your army has already been targeted with that stratagem this phase. Alright, so we're seeing that on a lot of, on a couple other characters already, so this looks like they're giving it to the Hive Tyrant. The Winged one, we'll see if the other Hive Tyrants get it as well. I would assume they do. But very useful, saving CP and duplicating stratagems. That's a solid rule. Then Paroxysm, Psychic Power. At the start of the fight phase, you can select one enemy unit within 12 inches of and visible to this model and roll 1d6. On a 1, the Psyker suffers D3 mortal wounds. On a 2+, until the end of the phase, subtract 1 from the attack's characteristics of the weapons equipped by models in that unit. Alright, so basically you roll a d6. On a 1, you take d3 mortals. On a 2-up, all the models in the enemy unit lose an attack. Well, from their weapons, so if they have multiple weapons they can swing, like they have a bunch of extra attack weapons, you could take more than 1 attack per model. You basically take 1 attack per weapon. Alright, and then he's got a 4 pinball. Alright, I mean, once again, none of this has points to shed any light on how much, but basic rules, looks fine. And then here's the back of his sheet. He's equipped with a Monstrous Bone Sword and Lash Whips and Tyrant Talons. And his Monstrous Bone Sword and Lash Whips can be replaced with one of the following: Heavy Venom Cannon, Stranglethorn Cannon, Monstrous Scything Talons. Alright, so you can just keep his Bone Sword right there, or alright, so you can so you have the Bone Sword here, so you can swing the Bone Sword and the Talons. But if you want one of the heavy weapons, you drop the Bone Swords, and then you'll be swinging the Scything Talons and Tyrant Talons. Alright. Then he has Monster Character, Psyker, Fly, Great Dwarf, Synapse, Winged Hive Tyrant. Alright, nothing shocking there. Regular Hive Tyrant is Movement 8, Toughness 10, 2-up save, 10 wounds, Leadership 7, Objective Control 3. Other than movement? Oh no, toughness is different too. Wounds, leadership, save, objective controls all the same. But Winged Hive Tyrant, the Foot Hive Tyrant has 4 less movement, but 1 extra toughness. So he also has the Heavy Venom and Stranglethorn, Monstrous Bone Sword, Lash Whips, and Monstrous Scything Talons. He does not have access to the Tyrant Talons, it looks like. Deadly Demise D3 Leader, so he can join units. Then he has Will of the Hive Mind, and then he has Onslaught for his Psychic Power. It's an aura. When a friendly Tyranid unit is within 6 inches of this model, ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit have the Assault ability. Alright, so you can basically units within 6 of him get assault. And then he also still has the will of the hive mind, so he can do the stratagems for 0 CP. Then he also has a 4 pinfall save. He is equipped with Monstrous Bone Swords, Lash Whips, Monstrous Scything Talons. Replace the Bone Whip, Bone Swords with the Heavy Venom, Stranglethorn, Monstrous Scything Talons. The modest Monstrous Scything Talons can be replaced with one of the following Heavy Venom Cannon, Stranglethorn Cannon. And you can't have a Stranglethorn Cannon and a Heavy Venom Cannon. Cannot be equipped with more than one Heavy Venom Cannon. Cannot be equipped with more than one. Alright, so you can basically drop your Bone Sword and Lash Whip to have double Scything Talons speed combat. Or you can drop your Monstrous Scything Talons to take one of these weapons. Or you can drop your Bone Swords to take one of these weapons. You can't drop your Bone Swords for Scything Talons and then drop both versions of Scything Talons. They're different weapons. Makes sense. And then he can only be attached to Tyrant Guard. Right, and then Swarmlord, Synaptic Pulse, Psychic Torrent, 18-inch range, D6 plus 3 shots, no ballistic skill because it's Torrent, so it auto hits. Strength 5, AP 1, 2 damage. Then he has Bone Sabers, which are twin linked, so you'll be rerolling your wounds. 8 attacks, 2 up to hit, Strength 9, AP 2, 3 damage. Did I skip this? He's Movement 8, Toughness 10, 2 up save, 10 wounds, Leadership 7, Objective Control 3. That's all the exact same as the regular Hive Tyrant. So stat line doesn't get a boost for being the Swarmlord. Deadly Demise D3. Leader. Hive Commander. At the start of command phase, if he's on the battlefield, you gain 1 CP. Alright, that's nice. And that's during your command phase, so you'll get basically 3 per battle round. Malign Presence. Once per battle, after your opponent uses a stratagem, if this model is your Warlord and is on the battlefield, you can use this ability if it does so until the end of the phase, or until the end of the battle, increases stratagem cost your opponent by 1 CP. Alright, so basically he makes people's stratagems cost more. Or, well, 1 stratagem. Domination of the Hive Mind. While a friendly Tyranid unit is within 9 inches of this model, that unit is within your army synapse range, so this 9-inch synapse. He does not have the free CP ability, but he does affect your opponent's CP and give you one. Alright, so base stats the same. Weapons are a little different. Basic rule or special rules are a little different. So, and then he still has the 4 pinball. So similar to the regular Hive Tyrant, but a little different flavor. So it's not exactly the same. You can play a little different. And let's see what his sheets. He's an epic hero. Synaptic Pulse, Bone Swords. He can also only be attached to Tyrant Guard. No options because he's a named character. Then they give us a Broodlord. Movement 8, Toughness 5, 4 up save, 6 wounds, Leadership 7, Objective Control 1. He has Broodlord Claws and Talons. They have Devastating Wounds and Twin Linked, so 6 is the wound will do mortals, and you can reroll your wounds. So you could fish for those 6s if you wished. 5 attacks, hits on 2, Strength 6, neg 2, 2 damage. He's a leader, and he scouts 8 inches. So then his special rules are Vicious Insight. While this model is leading a unit, weapon equipped by models in that unit have the Devastating Wounds ability. Alright, so he also transfers the Devastating Wounds onto his unit. Hypnotic Gaze is his psychic power. At the start of the fight phase, select one enemy unit within engagement range of this model. Till the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 to hit roll. Alright, so he himself has to be in engagement range, not just his unit of his target, and then they get neg 1 to their hit in the fight phase. Alright, and then check out the back of his sheet. No options, and he can only be attached to Gene Stealers. So far, all the Tyranid characters that have leader have been restricted to only one type of unit they can join. Alright, then rolling down, we have the Winged Tyranid Prime. So this is the new one from the Leviathan box. 12-inch move, T5, 4 up save, 6 wounds, Leadership 7, Objective Control 1. He has Prime Talons, which are 6 attacks, 2 up to hit, Strength 6, neg 1, 2 damage. He is leader. Alpha Warrior. While this model is leading a unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit have the sustains hits 1 ability. Alright. A death blow. If this model is destroyed by a melee attack, if it has not fought this phase, roll 1d6. On a 4+, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks and is then removed from play. So he basically gets to do the fight on death strat that we saw earlier for them for free. It's just built into his rules. Alright, then let's check out the back of his sheet. Not much here. He can be attached to gargoyles, Tyranid warriors with melee bioweapons, Tyranid warriors with ranged bioweapons. Alright, so he has 2 types of Tyranid warriors he can join, and he can join gargoyles. That would be interesting, because Tyranid warriors, I'm assuming, are going to be a little slower, but they would give him more protection, I would assume. But you put him with some gargoyles, he can run fast and basically just use the gargoyles as like extra wounds and helping him like clear objectives and stuff like that. So that's interesting. I like to interested to see how anyone running in with gargoyles does with that. That seems like a really interesting choice to me. Definitely something worth exploring. All right, then we're going to roll down into the Tervagon. 8-inch move, toughness 11, 2-up save, 16 wounds, leadership 7, objective control 5. He has Stinger salvos, 24-inch range, 8 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. He has massive crushing claws. These are 4 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 12, -3 d6 plus 1 damage. Massing Scythe Talons have 2 options, strike and sweep. So 4 attacks goes to 8, both hit on 3, strength 9 goes to strength 7, -2 goes to -1, d6 damage goes to 2. That's interesting that the strike attack has a 1 in 3 chance of doing the same or less damage than the sweep attack with the random d6 damage. Not a fan of that. Should be like d6 plus 1 at least, so minimum you could do is be the same as the little one, or d3 plus 2 even would have been better. So no matter what you're doing more than the sweep attack. But that's its rules, so that's what it is. Then we have the Deadly Demise d6. Spawn Termagants. In your command phase, you can select 1 friendly Termagants unit within 6 inches of this model and return up to d3 plus 3 destroyed Termagant models to that unit. Termagant unit cannot be selected for this ability more than once per phase. Brood Progenitor. It's an aura, and it's a psychic. While a friendly Termagant unit is within 6 inches of this model, ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit have the lethal hits ability. Alright, so he can return up to d3 plus 3 destroy Termagant models to a unit. Yeah, so you could do this, and then pop the strat, or other order, pop the strat, and then this. So you could potentially heal 3 Termagant units, d3 plus 3, or 1 or 2 other units. You could potentially heal up to 3 units as long as one of them's Termagant's d3 plus 3. Or you can heal 1 Termagant unit for 2d3 plus 6 using this plus the strat if you're running a big 20-man and pop. And then still do another unit. Alright, so that's interesting. That's definitely trying to keep the little gaunts running around. And then the back of his sheets, his massive Scything Talons can be replaced with 1 massive Crushing Claw. Alright, you only have 1 or each of these. Alright, then he has this equipped with weapons lifted up there. Then they give us, Old One Eye. Movement 8, Toughness 9, 2-up save, 9 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 3. He has claws and talons, with have a strike and a sweep. So 6 attacks goes to 12, both hit on 3, strength 14 to strength 6, -3 to -1, d6 plus 1 to 1. See, there we go. So he could never do the same damage. If they didn't give him a plus 1, he would have the potential to do the same damage with the strike as the sweep. But now he will always do at least 1 more damage with the strike than the sweep. That is much. See how the way that is much. They should have done it for the Tervagon. He has a 5-up field no pain. He is the alpha leader. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll. Alright, so it gives his unit reroll hits. Unstoppable monster. At the start of each player's command phase, this model regains up to D3 lost wounds. Alright, so he heals himself. Then we have his back of his sheet. He can only be attached to Carnifexes. Well, that'd be cool if he can be attached to a couple Screamer Killers running around with Old One Eye. That'd be kind of cool. Then we have Tyranid Warriors with ranged bioweapons. So this is interesting that they have Tyranid Warriors listed with ranged bioweapons and then with melee bioweapons. So technically they're named differently, so you could technically have up to 3 of each, I believe. So you could run 6 units of Tyranid Warriors. Because they do not have battle line. So yeah, you could possibly run up to 6 of them. 3 of each. So movement 6, T5, 4-up save, 3 wounds, leadership 7, objective control 2. We have the Barb Strangler, which is blast, 36-inch range, D6 plus 1 attack, 4-up save, strength 6, neg 1 damage. Death Spitter, 24-inch range, 3 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 5, neg 1 damage. Devour, 18-inch range, 5 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 4, AP 1 damage. Spine Fist, Assault, Pistol, and Twin Link, so you can advance and shoot with them, shoot them while you're in combat, and reroll the wounds. 12-inch range, 2 shots, 4 up to hit, strength 4, AP 1 damage. And then the Venom Cannon is Blast, 36-inch range, D3 shots, 4 up to hit, strength 9, neg 2 damage. And then their melee weapon is Bioweapons, 5 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 5, neg 1 damage. Adaptable Predator. This unit is able to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. Alright, so they can fall back and shoot and charge. Very useful rule. Alright, and then we have Tyranid. Oh, this is the back of the sheet. Every model is equipped with a Devourer and Bioweapons. You can take 1 Prime and 2 to 5 Tyranid Warriors. Any number of models can each have their Devourer replaced with one of the following: Death Spitter, Spine Fist. For every 3 models in the unit, 1 model's Devourer can be replaced with 1 Barb Strangler. For every 3 models in the unit, 1 model's Devourer can be replaced with 1 Venom Cannon. Alright, it doesn't say and or. So if you had a 3 model unit, looks like you could take a Barb Strangle and a Venom Cannon. Alright, so it's a solid looking unit. And then here they are with the melee bioweapons. It's just 6 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 5, neg 1 damage. Adrenalized Onslaught. At the start of the fight phase, you can select one of the following abilities to apply to models in this unit until the end of the phase. Aggression Imperative. Each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. Preservation Imperative. Each time a saving throw is made for a model in this unit, reroll saving throws of 1. So in the fight phase, you can give them either reroll hits of 1 or reroll saves of 1. And let's see, what's the difference between the bioweapons? 6, 3, 5, neg 2, 1. 5, 3, 5, neg 1, 1. Alright, so the ranged ones only lose 1 attack and 1 AP. Yeah, they lose 1 attack and 1 AP on the ranged ones. So the ranged ones do almost as much in combat, plus get the shooting. So hopefully these melee ones are a lot cheaper, because otherwise I don't see why you would ever take them over the other ones, unless you just wanted to spam units of warriors. Alright, and then, yeah, nothing here, just 1 Prime, 2 to 5 warriors. They just have the bioweapons. They have no options whatsoever. Alright, then the Termagants. With all the healing and stuff with Termagants and the strat, I'm assuming you'll see some of these in every Tyranid army. So you got 6-inch move, toughness 3, 5-up save, 1 wound, leadership 8, projected control 2. Flush Bore is assault, 18-inch range, 1 attack, 4 up to hit, strength 5, AP 1 damage. Then the Termagant Spine Fist is assault, pistol, twin linked. 12-inch range, 2 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 3, AP 1 damage. And then they have the Termagant Devour, which is 18-inch range, 2 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 4, AP 1 damage. Then they have Xeno Claws and Teeth, 1 attack, 4 up to hit, strength 3, AP 0, 1 damage. And then they have Skulking Horrors. Once per turn, when an enemy unit ends a normal, advance, or fallback move within 9 inches of this unit, if this unit is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, you can make a normal move of up to D6 inches. Alright, so this is just going to make it harder to charge them and lock them down. And you got to be careful with it because they can move it any direction. So you could possibly get within 9, not thinking. They pop this, run away from you, take an objective you thought you were going to control. This is definitely something you have to think about. With Overwatch and all this stuff, you definitely have to put more thought into your movement phase in this edition. You can't just start moving stuff without really planning out what's moving first, what's moving where. Is my opponent going to Overwatch here? What's their probably going to Overwatch with? Do they have abilities that'll let them move once they get there? Because we've seen this on this. And the Reaver Phobos Lieutenant thing in the box. So this looks like it may be something more prevalent. We'll see as the index comes out over the next couple days if this is, but both of the first 2 armies we're going to be looking at have rules on this. So we'll see if that becomes more of a thing. And then 10 to 20 Termagants. They all have Flesh Borers and Xenos Claws. All models in this unit can have their Flesh Borer replaced with a Devourer. All models in this unit can have their Flesh Borer replaced with a Spinefist. So do you... Alright, so I'm a little unclear on this wording. If you replace one, do you replace all? Or could you choose to mix and match? Every model has the option. You can do Spinefist, Devourers, and Flesh Borers mixed in the unit. Or do you have to match the same one on every model in the unit? All models in this unit can each have their Flesh Borer. It doesn't say if one does, they all have to. So it looks like you could mix and match. I'm not sure if that'd be something worth doing or not. And then they're the first unit we've seen that has battle lines. You can take up to 6 of them. Then we get the Hormagaunts. They have a 10-inch move, toughness 3, 5 up save, 1 wound, leadership 8, objective control 2. They have Hormagaunt Talons, 3 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 3, neg 1 damage. They're able to declare a charge even if they advanced. Fairly simple there. No options. Once again, 10 to 20 models. They're battle line. They're endless multitude, so they can be healed just like the Termagaunts. Alright, Gargoyles, which, as we saw earlier, can be attached, have the wing prime attached to them. 12-inch move, toughness 3, 6 of save, 1 wound, leadership 8, objective control 2. They come with a Flesh Borer, which is assault, 18-inch range, 1 attack, 4 up to hit, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. Blinding Venom, 1 attack, 4 up to hit, strength 3, AP 0, 1 damage. Then they have the special Winged Swarm. In your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, if it is not within engagement range of enemy units, it make a normal move up to 6 inches. If it does so until the end of the turn, this unit is not eligible to declare a charge. Alright, and I'm assuming they will still be able to do that if with the Wing Prime to it attached to the unit. Because I'm assuming stuff like this will confer to the character as long as he is part of the unit. They are a battle line and also an endless multitude. So, and then once again, they have no options, just what their base come with, and then 10 to 20 Gargoyles. Alright. Then we have the Toxicrene. He has a movement of 8, a toughness of 11, 3 up save, 14 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 4. Massive Toxic Lashes are anti-infantry 2, so they're going to be doing critical wounds and infantry on 2s. 9-inch range, 2d6 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 6, neg 1, 2 damage. Massive Toxic Lashes are also his melee weapon and still have anti-infantry 2. 12 attacks, hits on 3, strength 6, neg 1, 2 damage. His special rules are Grasping Tendrils. Each time an enemy unit, excluding Titanic units, within engagement range of 1 or more units from your army with this ability is selected to fall back, you can roll 1d6. On the 3+, the enemy unit must remain stationary and stay. Alright, so you got two-third chance of making people stay in combat with you as long as they're not Titanic. Then you have Hypertoxic Miasma, which is an aura. At the end of your movement phase, roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within 6 inches of this model. On a 2 to 3, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. On a 4 to 5, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. And on a 6, that unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. And so this is an aura, so it'll affect all enemy units within 6 inches of this model. So you push him in the middle of your enemy models. If you push him in the middle of the enemy army, possibly pop off some mortals. Then once he's down to 5 wounds, subtract 1 from his hit rolls. Alright, that's fine. Nothing great here. The coolest thing is possibly keeping people in combat. You're going to do some mortals, but doesn't look like it joins units. Doesn't look like it does much else, so it seems solid. We'll see how much this gets played. In a vacuum, this seems fine, but he's not a character. Doesn't look like it. He has lone operative. I think people would just kill him. Although that would make him a good distraction unit, possibly. Then, once again, no options, and you can only take one of them in a unit. Then Tyrant Guard. So these are what can be joined by the foot Hive Tyrants. So movement 6, toughness 8, 3-up save, 4 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 1. So they have a Bone Cleaver, Lash Whip, and Rending Claws, which are twin linked. So rerolling your wounds. 3 attacks, 3 hits, strength 5, neg 1, 2 damage. Crushing Claws and Rending Claws, 3 attacks, 4 hits, strength 8, neg 2, 2 damage. Scything Talons and Rending Claws, 5 attacks, 3 hits, strength 5, neg 1, 1 damage. Guardian Organism. While a character model is leading this unit, that character has a Feel No Pain 5+ ability. Alright, so the Hive Tyrant will gain a 5-up Feel No Pain while leading this unit. So far, that's the only thing we've seen that can lead the unit, so looks like it's only going to be 4 Hive Tyrants. Alright, then look at their options. They come with the Scything Talons and Rending Claws. They can be taken in a unit of 3 to 6. Any number of models can have their Scything Talons and Rending Claws replaced with one of the following. So that's just the other 2 weapon options. Alright, then we have the Neuro Tyrant. This is another one of the new models in the release box. 6-inch move, toughness 8, 4-up save, 9 wounds, leadership 7, objective control 3. Psychic Scream, ignores cover, Psychic Torrent, 18-inch range, 2d6 shots, auto hits, strength 5, neg 1, 2 damage. And then in melee, he has the claws and slashes, 6 attacks, 3 hits, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. He has Node Lash, which is a psychic power. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. If the target is Battle Shock, add 1 to the wound roll as well. Then he has Psychic Terror, which is a psychic power. If 1 or more Neuro Tyrants from your army are on the battlefield when you unleash the Shadow in the Warp, subtract 1 from the Battle Shock test each enemy unit on the battlefield must take as a result. Alright, so when you do Shatter in the Warp, if you have one of these on the battlefield, the enemy is neg 1. Synaptic Relays. In your command phase, you can select up to 2 friendly Tyranid units within 12 inches of this model's unit. Till the start of your next command phase, the selected units are always considered to be within synapse range of your army. Alright. So he comes with the 2 little tokens that you will place next, that you can place next to units to show that they're in relay range. This just lets you run units out of synapse and not have to worry about battle shocks and stuff while they're there. And also, it still lets them benefit for all the extra rules on stratagems. Alright, has no options, and he can be attached to Neurogaunts, so he can also join Tyrant Guard, and then he would gain the 5-up Feel No Pain. Or he could join the little Neurogaunts, which are the ones that come with him in the box set. Then we have the Lictor. He is movement 8, toughness 6, 4-up save, 6 wounds, leadership 7, objective control 1. He has Lictor Claws and Talons, which have precision, so he can pick out characters in attached units. 6 attacks, hits on 2, strength 7, neg 2, 2 damage. He has Fights First, Infiltrators, Lone Operative, and Stealth. So even if you get charged, he will fight first in your opponent's phase. You can deploy him up the board. He has lone operative, so he can't be targeted outside of 12 inches, and stealthy, even when you can target him, he's neg 1 to hit. Then he has feeder tendrils. Each time this model destroys an enemy character, you gain 1 CP. And then pheromone trail. Once per battle round, you can target one model with this ability with the rapid ingress stratagem for 0 CP. Alright, so you can bring in lictors with rapid ingress for 0 CP. So you put a lictor or 2 in reserve. You can use your rapid ingress on turns 2 and 3 without having to spend the CP. Alright, then he has a 5 of info save. Decent roll. They're not really a damage unit normally. They get you behind enemy lines and engage and stuff like that. They can kill a little character cool. And the fact that you can rapid ingress them for 0 CP is nice. They're most of the time, a little tool piece instead of more like a damage unit. So their rules are nice for what they do. So we'll see what their points are. Once again, no options. Just come with what they have. One model unit. Death Leaper. Movement 8. Toughness 6. 4 up save. 7 wounds. Leadership 7. Control 1s. Lictor Claws and Talons. 6 attacks. 2 up to hit. Strike 7 extra 2 damage. All the same rules. Still has feeder tendrils, but he has Fear of the Unseen, which is an aura. While an enemy unit is within 6 inches of this model, worsen the leadership characteristic of models in that unit by 1. In addition, in the Battle Shock step of your opponent's command phase, if such an unit is below its starting trait, it must take a Battle Shock test. Alright, so anybody within 6 of him is -1 leadership and must take a Battle Shock test if they lost any models, or if they're a single model unit, if they've lost any wounds. He does not get to use the rapid ingress for free like the other lictors do, but he still gets points for killing a character. That's a nifty little trick, but you have to get really close to the enemy to do it, so we'll see how often that comes up. Then he cannot be your warlord, but he's an epic hero and no other weirder options. Then we have the Maliceptor, which is a 8-inch move, toughness 11, 3 up save, 14 wounds, leadership 7, objective control 4. He has ranged weapon Psychic Overload, which is Blast Psychic, 18-inch range, d6 plus 3 attacks, hits on 3, strength 10, -2, 3 damage. Massive Scything Talons have a strike and a sweep, so 3 goes to 6, both hit on 3, strength 9 to strength 7, -2 to -1, d6 plus 1 damage to 2 damage. He has the Encephalic Diffusion, which is an aura and psychic. When an enemy unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll, and if that enemy unit is below half strength, subtract 1 from the wound roll as well. So while he has 5 wounds remaining, he's -1 to hit, or he gets -1 to hit, and then he has a 4 invul save. Once again, another rule that's forcing you to get really close. This only works within 6 inches. He has 14 wounds and toughness 11, so he could probably survive that a little better than the Lictor can, pushing up. Alright, and then once again, 1 model unit, no options. Seems decent. Nothing great. Then Pyrovores, movement 8. Movement 5, toughness 6, 3 up save, 4 wounds, leadership 8, 1 objective control. Range weapon is the Flame Spurt, ignore cover, turret, twin linked. 12-inch range, d6 plus 1 attacks, auto hit, strength 6, -1, 1 damage. Then his melee weapon is Chitin Barbed Limbs, 2 attacks, 4 per hit, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. And his special rule is Burning Spray. In your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, select one enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks. Until the end of the phase, that enemy unit cannot have the benefits of cover. Alright, so you shoot him first, and then the enemy unit loses cover to any other shots you come with anything else. And he already ignores cover, so that's fine. They can come in units of 1 and 3, and have no options. The Horror Specs is 8-inch move, toughness 11, 3 up save, 14 wounds, leadership 8, 4 objective control. His range weapon is the Grasping Tongue, which is precision, so you can target characters with it. Range 12, 1 attack, 3 up to hit, strength 6, -2, d6 plus 1 damage. The melee, he has the Ravenous Maw, which is 14 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 7, negative 2 damage, and then the Shoveling Claws, which are extra attacks, so he can swing both of them, which is 4 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 14, negative 2, d6 plus 1 damage. Then he has a Grisly Spectacle. Each time this model is selected to fight, after resolving its attacks, if one or more enemy units were destroyed with his attacks, enemy units within 6 inches of this model must take a Battle Shock test. Alright, so if you kill one or more enemy units, if one or more enemy units were destroyed by those attacks, yeah, so if you kill one or more enemy units, any other enemy units within 6 inches must take a Battle Shock test. Alright, so within 6 inches of him, not 6 inches of the units that were destroyed. Alright, then once he's down to 5 wounds, he has to subtract 1 from his hit rolls. 1 model unit, no options. And then we have Venom Throps, 6-inch move, T5, 4 up save, 3 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 1, Toxic Lashes, anti-infantry 2+, 5 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 3, AP 1 damage. Foul Spores is an aura. While a friendly Tyranids unit is within 6 inches of this unit, each time a range attack targets that unit, models in that unit have the benefit of cover against that attack. In addition, while for a friendly Tyranids unit, excluding monsters, and within 6 inches of this unit, models in that unit have the Stealth ability. Alright, so Stealth, they come stock with, which is -1 to hit. So any Tyranid unit within 6 inches of them gets the benefit of cover, and any Tyranid unit within 6 inches of them that is not a monster will also get Stealth to be -1 to hit. Alright, so kind of similar to what they've done for a while. They just make your army harder to hit. If you build your army around this, that's a very useful thing. So units are of 3 to 6 and no options. Then the Von Ryan Leapers. These are from the also from the new box. 10-inch move, toughness 5, 4 up save, 3 wounds, leadership 8, 1 objective control. They have Leaper's Talons, 6 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 5, negative 1 damage. Fight First, Infiltrators, and Stealth. Then Pouncing Leap. You can target this unit with a Heroic Intervention stratagem for 0 CP. You can do so even if you've already used this stratagem on a different unit this phase. Alright, that's a useful little rule. So another little infiltrating, sneaky little unit. Help you do secondaries and stuff. Nothing wrong there. You can take 3 to 6, and once again, no options. Then these are the Neurogaunts. These are little guys that can be led by the Neurotyrant. They have a 6-inch move, toughness 3, 6 up save, 1 wound, leadership 8, objective control 1. They have 1 attack, 4 up, hits on 4, strength 3, AP 1 damage. While this unit is within Synapse range of your army, it has the Synapse keyword. So basically, they just help you extend Synapse range. They're not battle line, but they are Endless Multitude. So it's a little cheap, hopefully a cheap little unit you can use to extend Synapse and possibly join the Neurogaunt too. Not Neurotyrant too. 1 to 2 Neurogaunt Node Beasts, 10 to 20 Neurogaunts. Every model equipped with Xenoclaws. This unit can only contain 2 Neurogaunt Node Beasts, and it contains 20 Neurogaunts. So it looks like it can contain up to 22 models. So it has to have 11 to 22 models. That's interesting, but I don't see... The Node Beast doesn't actually give you anything that I see. There's no extra profile, no extra wound, no different weapons. They're just a model in the unit. Okay. Then we get the Zonothropes. Movement 5, T5, 5 up save, 3 wounds, leadership 7, objective control 1. Then they have Warp Blast, which can be shot as focused or regular, as Blast Psychic. And if you do it focus, it's lethal hits Psychic, but loses Blast. So you have D3 attacks goes to 1, both hit on 3, strength 7 to strength 12, -2 to -3, D3 to D6 plus 1. Then you have Xeno Claws and Teeth, 2 attacks, 5 up to hit, strength 3, AP 1 damage. There's Spirit Leech, which is an aura psychic. While this unit contains a Neurothrope, while an enemy unit is within 6 inches of this unit, Each time that enemy unit fails a battle shock test, it suffers D3 mortal wounds, and one model in this unit regains up to D3 lost wounds. Alright, so if you have a Neurothrope attached to this unit, if an enemy unit within 6 fails a battle shock, the enemy unit takes D3, and one of your models can regain D3. Alright, well, they only have 3 wounds, so, I mean, I guess if the Neurothrope's wounded, but you're never going to regain 3 wounds. The best you can do is 2, because you can't regain wounds if you're at 0 wounds. Then Warp Field, Aura Psychic. While the friendly Tyranids unit is within 6 inches of this unit, models in that unit have a 6-up invulnerable save. Alright, so they give an Aura of 6-up vulnerable save to friendly Tyranid units, and then their invul save is a 4-up. I'm so glad, like, 3-up save Zonothropes have been a bane of my existence for a few editions now. Then we have, here's the Zonothrope. Oh, there's still a Zonothrope. I was thinking Neurothrope band. So unit can composition 1 Neurothrope, 2 to 5 Zonothropes. Every model is equipped with Warp Blast, Xenos, Claws, and Teeth. So I don't see any different between the Zonothrope and the Neurothrope. Is he just an upgrade for the unit now? Yeah, each unit contains 1 Neurothrope and 2 to 5 Zonothropes. So he's really just like a Sergeant. You won't take him till last just because he gives you the extra thing. There's no reason to take him first. There's nothing different about him. Then we have Gene Stealers, who have a 8-inch move, toughness 4, 5-up save, 2 wounds, leadership 7, objective control 1. Gene Stealer Claws and Talons are 4 attacks, hits on 2s, strength 4, neg 2, 1 damage. They have Scouts 8 inches, and then they have a Vanguard Predator. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. If the target is within range of an objective marker, you can reroll a wound roll of. Reroll the wound roll instead. Actually, they reroll wounds of 1, and if the enemy they're attacking is within the range of an objective marker, they reroll all the wounds. Then they have a 5-up invul. 5 to 10 Gene Stealers, no options. Raveners have a 10-inch move, toughness 5, 4-up save, 3 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 1. They have Thoracic Bioweapon, range 12, 3 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 4, AP 1 damage. Then they have Ravener Claws and Talons, which are 7 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 5, neg 1 damage. They have Deep Strike. And then they have Death from Below. At the end of your opponent's turn, if this unit is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, you can remove it from the battlefield and place it into Strategic Reserves. Oh, that's nice. So they just pop into Strategic Reserves, and then at the end of your opponent's turn, and then pop back in on your turn, so they can go from one end of the battlefield to the other. Alright, that's a useful rule. So decent speed, okay shots, lots of combat attacks, and a really cool little rule here. Alright, so depending on their point costs, Raveners, I'm really liking what I see in the Raveners right here. 3 to 6, so they don't auto come with the bioweapon. You have to the shot, but you can give it to any number of them. Then we have the Ripper Swarms. Movement 6, toughness 2, 6 save, 4 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 0. That's big. Like, an edition past, Rippers were troops and stuff like that, and then plenty of times you just leave Rippers back to hold an objective or center. So we'll see what they do, but the fact that their objective control 0, unless they're really cheap and you just have a couple points, I'm not sure how much we'll actually even see Rippers. They have Spine Mauls, which is a pistol, 6-inch range, 4 attacks, hits on 5, strength 3, AP 1 damage, and then they have Claws and Teeth, which are sustained hits 1, that's not bad. 6 attacks, 5 of hits, strength 2, AP 1 damage. So they do get a lot of attacks and sustained hits, but they are only strength 2. They still have Deep Strike. Chitinous Horror is an aura. While an enemy unit is within engagement range of this unit, have the objective control characteristic model in that enemy unit. That'd be better if they had objective control themselves, so you have to use this in conjunction with another unit. Otherwise, having their objective control really doesn't do anything when you have 0, because they're, even if you take them all the way down to a 1, they're still controlling it. Then they just come with the teeth and claws. You have to buy them the spine mauls. 3 to 6 in a swarm. I'm really thinking we won't see these much unless they're going to use like a little cheap move block or something like that. Engage on all fronts if you're playing for tactical objectives or plan on taking that fixed. But the fact that they can't control objectives really hurts the Rippers, I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe they couldn't before, but I'm pretty sure they could. Parasite Amortrex, 12-inch move, toughness 5, 4-up save, 5 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 1. Barbed Avaposter, anti-infantry 3, and extra attacks. So 1 attack, 2 up hit, strength 3, -2, 3 damage. And clawed limbs, 6 attacks, 2 up hit, strength 5, -1, 1 damage. So no shooting. And the Barbed Avaposter against infantry on a 3-up will be doing 3 mortal wounds. On a 3-up wound will be doing 3 mortal wounds. His Deep Strike, Lone Operative Stealth. A Parasitic Infection. Each time an infantry model is destroyed by an attack made with this model's Barbed Avaposter, after this model is finished making its attacks, you can add 1 new Ripper Swarm unit to your army consisting of D3 models and set it up within 3 inches of this model. If you do, that Ripper Swarm unit can be set up within engagement range of the destroyed model's unit, but not within an engagement range of any other enemy units. Alright, it itches. At the start of the fight phase, select 1 enemy unit with an engagement range of this model. That enemy unit must take a battle shock test. Alright, that's useful. So he can run in, kill a model. Kill or wound a model, let's see. Yeah, every time he kills a model, he can make Ripper Swarms. Alright, so that's where you would take Ripper Swarms. You run him in, pop out some Ripper Swarms, have the objective control of people, and then he also can cause Battle Shock. Alright, I could see some little plays there. So, personally, that's the only time I would take Ripper Swarms is when he makes them. So you would have to have some of the models. But we'll see what people who have more experience with Tyranids do with their armies. Then no options. He is a character. And then we have a Mawlock. Oh, the Mawlock. Move 10, toughness 10, 3-up save, 14 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 4. He has a Distendable Jaw, which is anti-infantry 4+, devastating wounds, and extra attacks. Just 1 attack, 3-up to hit, strength 5, AP 0, 3 damage. Then the Mawlock Scything Talent is 16 attacks. Hits on 3, strength 8, -2, 1 damage. That's a lot of attacks. And then he has Deep Strike and Terror from the Deep. Each time this unit is set up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within 12 of this model. On a 2 to 4, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. On a 5+, that unit suffers 3 mortal wounds and must take a battle shock test. Alright, and then on a 1 to 5, he does subtract. Once he's to 5 wounds or less, you subtract 1 from his hit roll. Alright, I like this. Bringing the Mawlock back. Dude, they used to be so cool when they'd pop up with the template and just cause damage around. But I haven't seen them much used in the last edition. So, I like this. We'll see what their points are, but it'd be cool to see Mawlocks make a comeback. Just popping up, causing mortal wounds and battle shocks all over the place. And then they're still tough, and they put out a lot of attacks, so you guys put some Mawlocks on the table. I'd like to see that. And then 1 Mawlock, no special upgrades or anything. And then the Trigon, 10-inch move, toughness 10, 3-up save, 14 wounds, leadership 8, control 4. He has the Bioelectric Pulse, which is sustained hits 2, 12-inch range, 6 attacks, 3-up hit, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. And then the Trigon Scything Talent, which are 12 attacks, 3-up hit, strength 9, -2, 3 damage. He has Deep Strike and then Subterranean Tunnels. Each time this model is set up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 3 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. When doing so, if this model is set up within 9 inches of one of our enemy units until the end of the turn, it is not eligible to declare a charge. Alright, so he can pop up within 3 inches of enemy units. He won't be able to charge if he does it close to 9, but that's nice to have that option. Much harder to block him out. His tunnels doesn't look like they any longer let you bring other reserves in through them, which is a thing he used to do. But that's still a very useful rule. pop up, pulse somebody. Personally, with what we've seen in the rules, I like the Moloch better than the Trigon now. I know Trigon's been better for the most part for a while. But personally, with the coming up from the ground called Immortals, I personally think I like the Moloch better right now, just looking at these data sheets. 1 model unit, no options. Then we have Mucilid Spores, 4-inch move, T4, 7-up save, 3 wounds, leadership 8, OC 0. Bio Minefield, enemy unit does not start or end an advanced move within 6 inches of this unit. Oh, so you can't advance. You just have to do regular moves near them. Floating Death, each time an enemy unit ends a move within 3 inches of the model in this unit, and each time a model in this unit ends a move within 3 inches of an enemy unit, roll 1d6. On a 2 to 5, the enemy unit suffers d3 of mortal wounds. On a 6, enemy unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. The models in this unit that cause that roll is then destroyed. Alright, so they can't hold objectives, but they make your enemy unable to advance near them. You can, good for move blocking and causing mortals if people need to get past them. So, that's all they've really been for a while now. It's what they are. This is a neat little move blocking unit. They're kind of slow, but if you can get them in position, they're nice. Unit of 1 to 2, and then no options. And then regular Spore Mines, movement 4, 1 attack, toughness 1, 7-up save, 1 wound, leadership 8, objective control 0. So you have the same Bio Minefield thing. Then Floating Death, each time enemy unit ends a move within 3 of this model's unit. 2 to 5, suffer 1 mortal wound, and all 6 D3. Alright, so they have to do the same thing, it's just their mortals are less, and then they're not as tough. And then once again, 3 to 6, no options. Then we have the Exocrine. Movement 8, toughness 10, 3-up save, 14 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 4. He has the Bioplasmic Cannon, blast and heavy. So 36-inch range, d6 plus 3 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 8, neg 3 damage. Powerful limbs, 3 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 7, AP 0, 2 damage. Then he has symbiotic targeting. In your shooting phase, after this model is shot, select one enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks until the end of the phase. Each time a friendly Tyranid model makes an attack that targets that unit, reroll a hit roll of 1. Alright, so you can basically give your army reroll hits of 1 against 1 target. And then once he's down to 5 wounds, you subtract 1 from his hit rolls. Alright, solid. Once again, we're looking at all this in a vacuum of points, so it's hard to tell what's good and what isn't, because depending on how much stuff costs, it could go up or down in my opinion, but 36-inch range, not bad. Just, he's tough, decent shots, so seems like a solid model. Once again, not really any options to look at. Then Biovoice. Now this is how you're going to be getting your Spore Mine and stuff in position most of the time. So he moves 5, toughness 6, 4-up save, 4 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 1. Spore Mine Launcher, blast, devastating wounds, heavy, indirect fire. 48-inch range, D3 shots, 4 up to hit, strength 6, neg 1, 2 damage. Then he has Chit and Barbed Limbs, 2 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. Then his special will Seed Spore Mines. In your shooting phase, each time this unit is selected to shoot, it can use this ability instead of making any attacks with its ranged weapons. If it does, you can add a new Spore Mines unit to your army and set up anywhere on the battlefield that is within 48 inches of this unit, but more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. That Spore Mine unit contains 1 model for each model in this unit. Alright? So that lets you distribute Spore Mines over the place to slow people down. You have 1 to 3 Biowars, so you can do 1 to 3 Spore Mines. No other options here. Card effects is 8-inch move, toughness 9, 2-up save, 8 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 3. They can have Bioplasma, which is Assault Blast, 12-inch range, D3 attacks, D3 shots, hits on 4, strength 7, neg 2, 1 damage. Death Spinners with Slimer Maggots, 24-inch range, 6 attacks, 4 hit, strength 7, negative 1 damage. Devourers with Brain Leech Worms, 18-inch range, 12 attacks, 4 hit, strength 6, AP 0, 1 damage. Heavy Venom Cannon, Blast, 36-inch range, D3 attacks, 4 hit, strength 9, negative 3 damage. Spine Banks, Assault, 6 inches, 5 up to hit, 5 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. Stranglethorn Cannon is Blast, 36-inch range, D6 plus 1 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 7, negative 1, 2 damage. And in combat, your options are Carnifex Crushing Claws, 4 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 12, negative 3, D6 plus 1 damage. Carnifex Extra Scything Talons, so this has extra attacks, so you can swing it in addition to other weapons. 2 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 9, negative 2, 3 damage. Carnifex Scything Talons, 6 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 9, negative 2, 3 damage. Venus Claws and Teeth, 4 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 6, AP 0, 1 damage. He has Blistering Assault. Each time an enemy unit is selected to shoot after this unit has shot, if any models from this unit lost 1 or more wounds as a result of this attack, this unit can make a Blistering Assault move. To do so, roll 1d6, add 2 to the result. Each model in this unit can be moved a distance of inches up to the result, but this unit must finish that move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. When doing so, those models can be moved within engagement range of that enemy unit. Each unit can only make 1 Blistering Assault move per phase. Alright, let me reread that. That was a lot. Each time an enemy unit is selected to shoot, after that unit has shot, if any models from this unit lost 1 or more wounds as a result of those attacks, this unit can make a blister. Alright, so if the enemy shoots you and does any wounds to this unit can potentially just basically charge them right in there, going between 3 and 8 inches. And get into engagement range if they want to, but must move toward the enemy unit. Alright, interesting roll. Another movement shenanigans things you have to take into consideration before doing stuff. Alright, this unit is of 1 to 2 Carnifexes. So they come with the Carnifex Scything Talons, the extra Scything Talons, and Xenos Claws. You can have your extra Scything Talons replaced with Death Spitters, Slimer Maggots, Devourers, Brain Leech Worm, all this stuff here. And you can have any number of their Scything Talons replaced with one of the following. And any number else equipped with Bioplasma, and any number equipped with Spine Banks. So you get Bioplasma and Spine Banks in addition to this stuff you have to swap out for. Alright? And then here's the Screamer Killer. 8-inch move, T9, 2 up save, 10 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 3. Bioplasmic Scream, Assault Blast, 18-inch range, D6 plus 3, attacks, 4 to hit, strength 8, negative 1 damage. Then his talents are 10 attacks, 3 to hit, strength 10, negative 3 damage. And Death Scream in your shooting phase. After this model is shot, it's like 1 unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks. The unit must take a battle shot, subtracting 1 from the hit from that test. Alright, these are cool. Seeing them in some of the little battle reports from the box set. Really like the Screamer Killer. I still like the old Screamer Killer model better, but this one's pretty cool. So you do not have the Carnifex keyword, so we cannot attach the old One Eye to the Screamer Killers like I was hoping. He can only be attached to regular Carnifexes. That's a shame. Oh, and they're a 1 model unit anyway. Alright, so if it's a 1 model unit, you can't run units of Screamer Killers. Alright, so then we get the Hive Guard. 6-inch move, toughness 7, 3 up save, 4 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 1. The Impaler Cannon is heavy and indirect fire, 36-inch range, strength 4 attacks, 4 hits, strength 5, negative 1 damage. Then the Shot Cannon is anti-vehicle 2+, 24-inch range, 2 attacks, 3 hits, strength 7, negative 3 damage. So the Impaler Cannon still can fire indirect, but it's only negative 1 damage now. I think it used to be like 3 damage or something like that, or like negative 3, like, I don't know. I think it used to be a lot more deadly. So it kept it in indirect fire, but it looks like it went down a little bit in its lethality. Then we have Xeno Claws and Teeth, 3 attacks, 4 hits, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. Defensive stance, each time you target this unit with the Fire Overwatch stratagem. Resolve that stratagem. Hits are scored on modified hit rolls of 5+, or on modified hit rolls of a 4+ instead of this unit within range of an objective marker. Alright, so they just get to Overwatch a little better. So they come with the Shockwave cannon. They can replace it with the Impaler, and you take 3 to 6. The Tyranids effects: 9-inch move, toughness 12, 2-up save, 16 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 5. He has Acid Spray, which is Torrent, 18-inch range, d6 plus 6 attacks, auto hit, strength 6, negative 2 damage. Fleshborer Hive, heavy, sustained hits 1, twin link, 24-inch range, 20 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 5, AP 1 damage. The Rupture Cannon is heavy, 48-inch range, 2 shots, 3 up to hit, strength 18, neg 4, 2d6 damage. And then Stinger Salvos are 24 inches, strength 8 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 5, AP 1 damage. And then combat, he has Powerful Limbs, 4 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 8, AP 2 damage. He has Resilient Organism. Each time an attack is allocated to this model, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of the attack. Alright, so he has -1 damage. Once again, 5 wounds or less, he subtracts 1 from his hit roll. He's equipped with Fleshborer Hive, Stinger Salvos, and Powerful Limbs. The Fleshborer Hive can replace with the Acid Spray or Rupture Cannon. Alright, then we're getting down to the Tyranid. He has a movement of 8, toughness of 9, 3-up save, 10 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 2. He has a Tyranid bioweapons, 24-inch range, strength 5, 4 up to hit. 5 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 5, neg 1, 2 damage. Flensing whips are 6 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 7, neg 1, 2 damage. His deep strike and aerial seeding. This model must start the battle in reserves, but neither it nor any units embarked within it are counted toward any limits placed on the maximum number of reserve units you can start the battle with. This model can be set up in the reinforcement step of your first, second, or third movement phase, regardless of any mission rules. Any units embarked within this model must immediately disembark after it has been set up on the battlefield, and they must be set up more than 9 inches away from all enemy models after this model has been set up on the battlefield. No units can embark within it. Alright, so once it comes in, you can't get back in it. So it's a monster, it's a transport, it's a dedicated transport, and it has to start in reserve. Alright, then here it's transport capacity is 20 Tyranid infantry models, or 1 Tyranid monster model with a wound characteristic of 12 or less. Each infantry model with a wound characteristic of more than 1 takes up the space of 3 models. Okay. For a second there, I was going to say, dang, you could fit a lot of warriors in there. Alright, so it's anything 3 wounds or more. Anything more than 1 wound takes up 3 spots. But still, you could put, 6 in there? 6, 12, 18, 20? Yeah, because you can't do 7 because that would be 21. So you can put like a 6-man warrior unit in there, or 20-man infantry unit, or 1 screamer killer. Oh no, 12 or less. Screamer killer might be more than 12. Where's my screamer killer? Hive guard. Nope, he's only 10 wounds. So you can put a screamer killer in the Tyranid. Alright, that's cool. Then we got the Hive Chrome, getting into some of the flyers here. 20+ move, so they have to move at least 20 inches, but there's no maximum move. Toughness 9, 3-up save, 12 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 0. Drool Cannon, Torrent, 12-inch range, 2d6 shots, auto hit, strength 6, neg 1 damage. Stinger Salvos, 24-inch range, 8 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 5, AP 1 damage. Tentaclids are anti-vehicle 4+, devastating wound, so doing mortal to vehicles on a 4+ to wound. A 36-inch range, 4 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 7, AP 2 damage. Scything Wings, 4 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 7, neg 2 damage. And then Thorax Spur is anti-fly 2+ and extra attacks. So it's 1 attack, 3 up to hit, strength 10, neg 3d6 damage. It's an Airborne Predator. Each time this model makes a ranged attack that targets you that can fly, add 1 to the hit roll. And then he has Hover, so you can start him in Hover, but he will be stuck in Hover for the whole game. And then once he's down to 4 wounds, he gets -1 to his hit rolls. Alright, he's equipped with a drill cannon. So basically everything you saw there he's equipped with, there's no options. And it's a 1 model unit. Then we get the Harpy. 20-inch move, so same thing. Minimum 20-inch, no maximum. Toughness 9, 3-up save, 12 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 0. He has Stinger salvos. He has the twin heavy venom cannon, which is blast twin link, 36-inch range, D3 shots, 3 up to hit, strength 9, negative 3 damage. Twin stranglethorn cannon, blast twin link, 36-inch range, D6 plus 1 shot. Hits on 2, strength 7, negative 1, 2 damage. He has Scything Wings, which are 4 attacks, 4 hit, strength 7, negative 1, 2 damage. He also has Hover. Spore Mine Cyst. Each time this model ends a normal move, you can do one of the following. Select one enemy unit it moved over during that move, and roll 6d6. For each 3+ that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. So on average, you're going to do 4 mortal wounds. Add a new Spore Mines unit containing D3 models to your army. Set it up anywhere on the battlefield that is within 6 inches of this model, and more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. Alright, so you can try to do mortal wounds to a unit you flew over, or make Spore Mines. And that looks like he gets that whether he's in hover or up as an aircraft. Once he's down to 4 wounds, you -1 to his hit rolls. Alright, and then Stranglethorn Cannon or Venom Cannon. Basically, that's your only option. 1 model unit. Then the Spyro Cyst. No move. Toughness 10. 3-up save. 10 wounds. Leadership 8. Objective control 0. Spore Cyst Bioweapons. Hive Defenses. 24-inch range. 5 attacks. 4 to hit. Strength 5. -1 2 damage. And then Hive Defenses is each time an enemy unit is set up or ends a normal, advance, or fallback move within range of this weapon, if that enemy unit is an eligible target, the bearer can shoot with this weapon at that unit as if it were your shooting phase. The bearer can do so up to 4 times per phase. Wow. So if an enemy unit comes in from reserve near them or moves or falls back within near them, not charging though. It doesn't say he can do this in the charge phase. So basically, in the movement phase only, if an enemy unit ends up within 24 inches of him, because it says within range of the weapon, you can do this, and you do it up to 4 times. Alright, that's a pretty solid little rule there. Then Seed Mucoloids. And in your shooting phase, each time this model is selected to shoot, it can use this ability instead of making any attacks with its ranged weapon. If it does, you can add a new Mucoloid Spore unit containing 1 model to your army. It's set up anywhere on the battlefield that is within 18 inches of this model, but more than 9 inches far away from all enemy units. Alright, so this is only in your shooting phase. So you can't do this 4 times on your opponent's turn when they're doing so. You can shoot your Spore Cyst weapon once, or make a Mucoloid Spore. Within 18 inches of him. Alright, that's interesting. And then no options. Then the Psychophage. This is the other new model, one of the other new models in the new box. 8-inch move, toughness 9, 3-up save, 10 wounds, leadership 8, objective control 3. Psychoclastic Torrent, ignores cover Torrent. 12-inch range, D6 shots, auto hit, strength 6, neg 1 damage. Talents and Be Tentacled Maul. Anti-Psyker 2+, devastating wound. So he's going to be doing mortals to Psychers on a 2+ to wound. D6 plus 1 attacks, 3 up to hit, strength 6, neg 1 2 damage. He has a Feel No Pain 5+. Biostimulus Aura. While a friendly Tyranids unit is within 6 inches of model can have a Feel No Pain 6+ ability. Feeding Frenzy. Each time this model makes a melee attack that targets a unit that is below its starting strength, add 1 to the hit roll. If the target is also below half strength, add 1 to the wound roll as well. Alright, so you get +1 to hit with melee weapons if you're below starting strength, and +1 to hit and wound in melee against units below half strength. Once again, 1 model unit with no options. Then the Barb Gaunts. From what I've seen, this is one of the most useful units in the new box. 6-inch move, toughness 4, 4-up save, 2 wounds, leadership 8, 1, objective control. Biocannon, blast heavy, 24-inch range, D6 attacks, 4 up to hit, strength 5, no AP, 1 damage. And then in combat, they're 1 attack, 4 up to hit, strength 4 AP, 0, 1 damage. Disruption bombardment, this is what makes them cool. In your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, if an enemy infantry unit was hit by one or more of those attacks made by this unit's biocannons, until the end of your opponent's next turn, that enemy unit is disrupted. While a unit is disrupted, subtract 2 from its move characteristic, and subtract 2 from advance and charge rolls made for it. So, say you're movement 6, well now you're movement 4. And then you roll your advance, you subtract 2 from your advance roll as well. So it's not just, oh, I move 6, I roll a 4 for my advance, now I go 8. No. If you roll a 4 for your advance and you move 6, instead of going 10, you're going to be going 4 plus 2, you're going to be going 6. And you can split fire with them and do this to, I mean, if you got, what's their unit number? 5 to 10, you could do this. If you ran a 10-man unit, you could shoot 10 different units, and as long as you got a hit on each one, you can basically slow down your opponent's whole army. So these things are very useful, especially if you're playing against the combat army. So you take between 5 to 10. There's no other options. We'll see what the points are, but I really like this unit. Oh, and that's the last data sheet. So some very solid stuff in here. Army rules cool. Some of the models got some really nice rules, nice weapons. We'll have to see how the points shake out, but I think Tyranids look like, rules-wise, they should be in a very solid place to start the edition. But that's pretty much all I have to say on this. This video's long enough as it is, but I'll be back tomorrow with the Marines. It'll be tomorrow evening, and should hopefully have my friend Nick Herding on with me to go over it. But that's it for today, and see you guys next time.